Hi, I'm Shannon Cyr, and I am the relationship coach for men. And today we are talking about that idea of forgive and forget. So, do you have to forgive and forget about past hurts in order to be able to move forward in a relationship? And so, this is a common question, and I think one that comes up over and over, even just in our daily lives. And, today I was working with a client who has some pretty deep hurts that have occurred inside of his marriage over the last 17 plus years. And there have been several times in their lives that have been really difficult and filled with challenges. And instead of both of them facing those challenges together as a couple, they essentially just kind of isolated and shut one another out. And so much so that during one of the most challenging times in his life personally, his wife pretty much just kind of checked out. And ultimately, she ended up having an affair. And so, a lot of people are going to look at that and just take that action at face value and say, well, that was a really terrible thing to do, or she's not a very good person. And so maybe that wasn't a very good thing to do, sure, but that really doesn't go deep enough. It doesn't really dig in and figure out why this happened. It doesn't explain why she ended up going and looking for someone else, right? And so, throughout the course of their marriage, she has consistently shown that when things get hard, she shuts down and runs away and doesn't really show up to the relationship anymore. So she isn't interested in really engaging in that or finding an answer or, working together to make it through something tough. Her typical behavior has just been to kind of shut down, not communicate, and just disappear emotionally, essentially. Sometimes physically too, sometimes she would just go and spend more time at work, right? So, there's a lot of ways that we can run away from our relationship. We can run away and get into an affair, much like his wife did, or we can run away into a bottle or overeating or gambling or shopping. I mean, there's so many options, right? And there's just all kinds of ways that we can avoid our feelings and want to run away from the troubles in our marriage and our life, right? So right now, they are really kind of trying to figure out if there's a way to move forward as a couple together. And he's really stuck wondering how he can trust her. He doesn't know that he can 100% count on her not doing the same thing again. If something gets hard within the marriage, he doesn't know if he can forgive and forget and just start over. And, she keeps telling him that she just wants a fresh start and that every time she tries that he just kind of keeps looking back and she just wants to move forward from here. And that just isn't really realistic because, what she needs to understand is that in order for him to be able to trust her and to feel that she's going to be there for him, there has to be some sort of an answer uncovered or discovered about why things happen the way that they happen, why the things that have gone on have gone on, otherwise he's consistently going to be wondering in the back of his mind, is she going to be there for me? Or is she going to leave me again? Or is she going to find someone else, right? So right now, that answer is missing for both of them. The answer to the question of why she shuts down and runs, when things get hard, he doesn't have that answer. She doesn't have that answer right now. I don't have that answer. But that's really the answer that needs to be discovered because that's really the one that can help her figure these things out, right? That is the answer that someone can help her find. She just has to be willing, though, to really dig deep enough to find out why she does what she does, what the underlying fear or insecurity is that causes her to shut down and abandon the marriage, basically, when life gets hard. And so now we've all heard, the idea of the best indicator or predictor of the future is the past, right? Unless something comes along and interrupts it, right? So we have to look at that. Just because, that's not what's happening right now doesn't mean it's just going to be fine. I mean, we can't just stop right there and assume that everything's going to be cool, no problem, forgive, forget, move forward without doing the work because that doesn't explain anything. It doesn't, and in this situation, it doesn't give him a foundation for being able to understand what happened and how it's going to be different. So when there's a problem or an incident or, something hurtful, do you forgive? Absolutely. 100%. It's very toxic to you and of course to the marriage if you don't offer forgiveness, right? But when it comes to forget, then, I'm going to say no. I'm not really a fan of forget, because forget is basically just burying our heads in the sand and pretending that something never happened. And I really don't think that's something that you can do. Number one, now you know something about your partner, about who she is, what she's capable of doing, and what that can look like. And that's really important information. So in order to move forward, we have to be able to forgive all day long, but not necessarily forget. Because when it comes to, do I just have to forget about the past in order to move forward? I really don't think that's possible. I think a lot of people, they're going to try to carry on with that. Maybe act like they can, kind of stuff that down and not deal with the stuff, not feel the emotions, not work through the process, right? And so you still carry that with you. When you just stuff things down like that, you're still taking it through your life experience. And so that isn't healthy emotionally. And it eventually ends up popping up, in the marriage again at some point. So we don't have to dig up every dirty little detail and go through everything that's ever happened and rehash it and analyze it. We don't have to do that. But you need to look at some very specific questions and get those answered in order to be able to move forward, trust again, be on the same page. And so if you get really clear about what the questions are that you need answered, then you can focus on that conversation in a really productive way, begin to offer forgiveness, and move forward together at the same time with the relationship. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you would like to explore whether or not there is a fit for you and I to work together in a private coaching capacity, please schedule a complimentary exploratory session with me. If you like what you heard, I hope you'll subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified whenever I post something new. All my best.